Hakeem Jeffries got on a plane and flew to Annapolis and personally lobbied Maryland Democrats to erase the state's only Republican House seat. A judge just struck it down, dead on the table, and that's only half the beating that they took today. The Supreme Court just handed President Trump the other half. So 1 million Marylanders in the 1st District were about to lose their congressman without a single vote being cast, and that's the play, folks. Jeffries can't beat that seat, so he tried to delete it. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court lifted the block on President Trump's mail-in ballot order, barcodes on every USPS envelope, DHS and Social Security verified citizen list, ballots to nobody else. I'm going to read you Trump's own words on why mail-in voting is, quote, inherently corrupt, and I'm going to pull up the Massachusetts docket where Judge Talwani just folded. You see, Jeffries just tried to redraw a congressional map because he doesn't like the voters in it. And that's how badly both parties want the House this November. And that fight lands in your account. The midterm elections are coming up, have control of Congress on the line. Markets hate uncertainty, and uncertainty breeds volatility. This could be the most volatile stretch for stock market and our economy we've seen in years. Now, here is the good news. Noble Gold Investments has spent over a decade helping everyday Americans protect their wealth with precious metals, physical gold and silver you can hold, to hedge the volatility. It's simple, and it's easy, and it's safe. Go to nextnewsgold.com or call Noble Gold at the number on the screen, 877-646-5347. And for America's 250th, mention my name and get a 10-ounce silver bar free when you open a new qualified account. Now let's get back to that map. So, Judge Indira Talwani lifted her own nationwide injunction yesterday. Her own. She fought the order, and the Supreme Court made her eat it. And look who she sued. Look who sued. The League of Women Voters versus Trump. Remember that name. Now let's pull up the tweets. Maryland judge shooting down the Democrat attempt to eliminate the state's role. Sole Republican congressional district on the ballot this November. Jeffries personally traveled to Maryland to lobby Democrat state lawmakers to do it.
Hey, Gavin, if you can come in last, we're going to post on this.
Eric Daugherty has the ruling, and the next target, he says, block Maryland, then let Indiana redraw. Judge strikes down Hakeem Jeffries and Democrats' egregious plan to abolish Maryland's only Republican House seat this fall. Another redistricting win. Democrats are sure to keep appealing this, block Maryland, and have Indiana redraw next for MAGA. Now, redistricting is not the only front. The U.S. Supreme Court just sided with President Trump and lifted the block on his mail-in ballot restrictions. Nick Sorter writes that the Supreme Court has sided with Trump, lifting a lower court's order that blocked Trump's mail-in ballot restrictions to go into effect. Trump's order requires each USPS envelope to have a unique barcode with tracking. DHS and SSA create approved voter lists. USPS only sends ballots to that list. Trump is now allowed to move forward with this while the full case is heard. Remember when Trump said this?
You read recently in New Jersey where tremendous numbers of people were found out that they were on the voter rolls totally illegally, and that's all over the country. That's nothing compared to what's going on in California and Minnesota and so many other states. And hopefully there will be no mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt, except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel. If you're in the military, you're far away, absolutely. If you have to go someplace, absolutely. But mail-in ballots have proven to be a disaster. We're the only country in the world that in this form does them. There's no other country in the world because they're crooked. They pass through too many hands.
So here's what the order does. Social Security, data, citizenship, checks on the rolls, and federal funding on the line for states that refuse. So the Supreme Court siding with Trump, lifting key lower court block on Trump's March executive order, clearing the way for new mail-in voting rules tied to USPS voter rolls and proof of citizenship. A huge win for election integrity. The emergency request has been lifted.
President Trump's executive order on mail-in voting.
This new executive order compels the Department of Homeland Security to use data collected by the Social Security Administration to check the citizenship status of voter rolls in each of the 50 states. The Postal Service would then only send ballots to eligible voters that are on those lists whose citizenship has been proven. States that don't provide their information to the Social Security Administration, the White House says, would run the risk of losing federal funding if they don't participate. This remains also a big concern of his base, and so they're pleased to see him pushing ahead with this. But Democratic lawmakers, even before the president signed the executive order on Tuesday, said they will challenge this in court. Several other liberal organizations as well saying that they will challenge all of this in the courts. Errol.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Judge Indira Talwani got the message. She has lifted her own nationwide injunction, and the USPS rules now take effect. SCOTUS Wire posting that she lifted the injunction against Trump's election executive order allowing the mail-in ballot rules to take effect after the Supreme Court's ruling on Monday. And here is the League of Women Voters of Massachusetts versus Donald Trump in his official capacity as President of the United States and the state of Missouri. So, here's the thing. Jeffries personally traveled to Maryland to lobby Democrat state lawmakers. The minority leader of the United States House flew across state lines to talk legislators into abolishing 1 million Americans' representation. And the judge told him no. He didn't try to win those voters, folks. He tried to make them disappear. Block Maryland at the state Supreme Court because Jeffries is appealing this by morning. He always does. Hold the SCOTUS stay. Let Indiana redraw because I'm done watching our side disarm while Hakeem Jeffries books flights to delete districts. So here's my question for you. And put it in the comments. If your state is fighting a citizenship check on its own voter rolls, what exactly is it hiding? Now share this with somebody who still thinks that both parties play by the same rules. They don't. One side wants voters picking congressmen. The other side wants to pick which congressmen exist. The fight isn't ending tonight, which is exactly why I need you plugged in right now. Jeffries loses in Annapolis, appeals in a week, and the legacy press won't cover round two, but I will. Text White House to 844-840-4963, and the reports our credential team pull from inside that building hit your phone every night. No algorithm standing in the doorway. But reading this is where it starts, not where it ends. Text Signal to that very same number, and you're enlisted in the next news Signal Corps, real missions, real ranks, a command center that tells you exactly where to push a story so nobody can bury it. It's time for you to get in the fight, folks.